Did you ever see this?
Found a cigarette. Well, I didn't.
This is an anti-smoking PSA.
You know smoking is bad for your health, and it isn't grown up at all. So please, don't smoke.
A long, long time ago. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. Not that long ago, everything smelled like smoke. Everywhere you went. Restaurants, airplanes, movie theaters, your grandma's hair, your toys. Even you smelled like cigarettes. Even if you never had one in your entire life, you smelled like an old pack of Winstons out in the sun. Today we're taking a look back at the golden, gray haze days of smoking culture. We're going to look at the candy, the fashion, the ashtrays, the glass ones, the beanbag ones, the ones that were built into airplanes. Yes, even the skies weren't smoke-free. So let's roll up our sleeves and talk about the time when cigarettes were everywhere. You probably heard that doctors used to advertise cigarettes, and you heard of the Marlboro Man.
Come to where the flavor is.
Heck, even Fred Flintstone used to advertise cigarettes.
It still tastes good like a cigarette should.
But to truly understand the age of cigarette smokes, we need to go back to the beginning, to childhood. Because nothing said innocence like a 6-year-old pretending to have a 2-pack-a-day habit. Candy cigarettes were sold right next to the Pop Rocks. They were these sugary sticks that some had a little red tip to make it feel like a glowing ash. And there were some of them that you could blow out a little puff of smoke. It was just sugar dust, but it was like training wheels for your future bad decisions. They didn't even hide it. Candy cigarette brands were branded just like real cigarettes. Victory, Kings, Lights. Imagine trying to sell candy vodka shots in the candy store. I used to get candy cigarettes all the time. I mean, I wasn't allowed to wear a Ghost Rider t-shirt because it was a bad influence. But pretending like I needed a smoke because the batteries had died in my toy fire truck, that was acceptable. It was a simpler, more confusing time.
Gosh, Vern, you trying to kill us all?
When I was growing up, we were seeing a lot of anti-smoking PSAs. A lot of the celebrities had been doing commercials for cigarettes years earlier, but they weren't showing them anymore. If you watched an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies in the 1980s, they cut out this part.
Kid, that is good smoking.
Now try it this way, Granny. You tell me these Winstons is the best tasting cigarette you can get.
Same with I Love Lucy. We never saw this stuff.
Nothing but the best, huh?
That's nothing but Philip Morris.
I mean, back then, all the shows were sponsored by cigarettes. Dick Van Dyke was sponsored by Kent. But later, Dick Van Dyke did some anti-smoking PSAs, but they weren't about not smoking. Just don't smoke in bed.
I won't fall asleep without putting it out.
Those fires happen to other people.
Now we have to talk about how cool cigarettes looked.
Bond. James Bond.
In the movies, it was part of the costume. It made you look mysterious, tough, rebellious. You couldn't be a leading man unless you lit up like a Zippo in every other scene.
Now he's going to make a cigarette rise, and why don't you light that up too, Taylor? And I want to say to the kids at home that you shouldn't smoke cigarettes unless you want to look cool.
And if you didn't have a pack of cigarettes in your hand, well, you had it rolled up in your sleeve. Did it wrinkle your pack? Absolutely. Did it damage your smoke sometimes? Sure. But did that matter when you were leaning against a jukebox trying to look cool? Not at all. Some people wore mood rings, but others wore their future lung problems on their sleeve. There were some very cool anti-smoking PSAs, including this one with Superman.
That's why I never say yes to a cigarette.
And you don't get cooler than Cats from Cats.
Someone is smoking over there.
Something we cats would never do.
But now, let's talk about the most surreal part of the smoking era. Airplanes. Yes, once upon a time you could smoke on the plane. And not in a private jet. We're talking about in coach with the other passengers. Planes had ashtrays at every seat. Little metal flip-up ones. Right on the armrests. And they're still there if you fly in an older plane. They've just glued them shut like little sealed time capsules of secondhand regret. And if you sat in the non-smoking section, It didn't matter, because the only thing that was separating you from the Morton Downey Jr. look-alike in 18C was a thin, imaginary line in the nicotine-stained carpet. Some airlines even gave out complimentary cigarettes with branded matches. Welcome aboard. Here's a pillow and a starter lung problem. Back on the ground, ashtrays were as common as coasters. Big, chunky glass ones, ceramic ones shaped like seashells, and then those aluminum ones that you could bend up or steal every time you went to McDonald's. But then there was the king of ashtrays, the beanbag ashtray. It was like a sleepy little hat that sat on the edge of your armrest. It never tipped over, and it never judged you. It just sat there absorbing tar like a good friend. The biggest thing that non-smokers remember about the smoking era was the smell. Everything smelled like burnt popcorn and damp bar mats. A perfect storm of stale smoke and bad decisions. If someone lit a cigarette in a car, that smell stayed there until you sold the car. And probably even after that. Your jacket smelled like smoke. Your drapes smelled like smoke. Your cat smelled like smoke. You smelled like smoke. And there was no such thing as airing things out, because when you opened the doors to your house, the smoke came in from your neighbor's house. And you could smoke everywhere. In the hospital, in the elevator, at the DMV. Your OBGYN might light up while he was telling you a baby was on the way. It's wild to look back on now, but it's just how things were. And I'm not saying I want to bring it back. The air is cleaner now, and our sleeves are less lumpy, and your childhood dentist probably appreciates the drop in candy cigarette sales. But there was something oddly comforting about that smoky little bubble we all used to live in. Here's to beanbag ashtrays, rolled up sleeves, and that wonderful little era where every room seemed to have a cloud of smoke above it. It's all just memories now, and maybe the faint smell that still lingers on your denim jacket. Let's do some shout outs to the wonderful people on Patreon. Aaron Wester, Al, Archer, Carson Loveridge, Chris, Dana Snyder, M, Jason Evans, Jason Yealy, Jarrett Rusky, Jamie and Tom, Jen, Matthew Chapin, Mike and Jess, my big brother Rob, and Nick Roche. You got to go over there. You got to sign up for free. You got to get all the updates. And if you bump it up to that $9 monthly package, I sent everybody some Camel Cash recently. You know you want some. Go sign up. This was such a weird topic, but it was fun to look back on. Don't want to relive it, but I love looking at it. Well, it's time for my smoke break. I'll see you next time.